I was talking to my friend Z the other day, and we were talking about something related to God and religion, the Bible, as we usually do. It was some shit that something happened between me and a lady, and I thought it was mundane, but he thought that God was speaking through her, and we were arguing. And he said something. He said, because I basically challenged his authority on the matter. I was like, man, bro, you always saying, like, you're always making these assertions, like, oh, this is God, that's God, you know? Like, who are you to say? And he was like, bro, you're talking to me as if I'm just a regular person. And I cut him off. I was like, you are a regular person. We're all regular people. And he was like, no. And basically what he was saying was that, there are some people that have a unique insight into, God and how he works and, whatever. But basically he just said that he wasn't a normal person, like he has more insight and he's closer to God, or where I have no idea how he would put it, than a normal person. And I told him no. And I shouldn't have done that, because I believe that we exist. I believe that special people exist. And I didn't call him crazy, but I shouldn't have called him crazy or denied him of that. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking hot right now. I'm not even joking. I biked all the way here in a down jacket. Because who am I to tell him that he's not close to God and that he doesn't have some gift? Because I believe that I'm special, right? Whether, I'm not going to go into that, but whether it's because of my, my perspective on the world, or my orative ability, or just different things that I believe about myself, that I believe that I'm not like everyone else, right? And I give that to myself. And if he tells me that he's special and I deny him of that, I'm also denying myself. Because how many times, right? How many times have I tried to tell someone, how many times have I asserted that I'm different, or whatever the case may be, and somebody told me that I'm not, or somebody looked at me like I'm crazy, and that made me mad. And truth be told, I do I am inclined to believe him when he says that he's not a normal person and that he has some sort of connection with God that other people don't have. I don't view that as a crazy egotistical statement to make, because I know what he's saying. I have this sort of, Kanye maniacal ego and self-belief, even though I don't really show it a lot of the time, especially not on this channel, and you might be surprised to hear me say that. But Z, I don't think he has that at all. I don't think he's, manic, maniacal like I am. But I get what he means, because he isn't a normal person. I talk to him and just, yeah, he is unusual. He is unique. He does stand out amongst other people. I have conversations with him that I can't have with other people. He has insight and wisdom that most people don't have. He is by definition different. He is by definition not a normal person, for one. And for two, when we're talking about God, when we're talking about the Bible, we're it's either me picking his brain or we're debating. And it seems whatever I say to him, man, it's like sometimes I think God is speaking through this dude, bro. Because he's a real Christian, for one, right? For one, because you shall know a tree by its fruits. So before we even get to like the wisdom that he has and the things he says, I see him behave like a real Christian in the way, how he's kind and how he interacts with other people, how he treats everybody. I see him behave like a real Christian. I see him behave like somebody who has God with him. He was preaching on the streets, and some dude literally punched him, socked him in the face because some shit went down. He knocked his teeth out, and Z didn't retaliate, and he, he forgave him. And I'm not gonna go into that, but if you hear that and you think that that's weakness and not strength, you have so much to fucking learn. But because you do have to be strong enough to defend yourself, but at the same time, to make a choice to turn the other cheek, not out of cowardice, but making a choice to forego your pride and turn the other cheek when it's difficult to do so. That's something that I admire, and that's something that it's like I could never do. But anyway, so I see him behave like a real Christian. And then also, just when I'm talking to him about the Bible, when I'm talking everything, any gripes that I have, we're just going back and forth, whether it's about the nature of hell, infinite punishment for a finite crime, or the nature of why should people believe, or why should people every single conversation we have about the Bible or about the nature of God, anything I have to say to him, it's like he has the answer. It's like he has something to say back. It's like he's almost never lost for words, or it's like shit that I think will stump him, or he's not gonna have a good answer, an immediate answer. He'll just come. It's like it's pre-prepared. It's like he's pulling it from somewhere. I swear, bro. I don't know. But and so when he says that he's not a normal person and that he has a connection to God, I believe him, because he's not a manic. I know what a crazy person looks like. I know what it's like to talk to a crazy person or an egomaniac, right? Um, and he's not. And I think about there's this scene. There's that movie. It's like the Unbreakable. I think there's the movies. It's like Unbreakable and Split. It's like the fucking the dude who's super strong, and then Mr. Glass, and then like the schizophrenic dude who has multiple personalities, right? And then there's that final movie where I guess they all come together, and they're convincing these guys that they don't have any powers, right? The multiple personalities dude, how he has like the one that's a child, the one that's like the beast, that's like his ultimate like personality, and he's like insanely superhuman fast and strong and whatever, and he took a bullet to the chest and he bent iron bars. They're convincing these guys that they don't have powers, right? Like the bald schizophrenic dude, they convinced him, oh, the bullet you were shot with, it was only a 22. Yeah, it makes sense that it didn't penetrate your pec muscle. Oh, you know, these bars that you bent, yeah, they were built in such and such time period. They were made out of this metal, so it's theoretically possible that you could bend them or whatever. And they're coming up, and they did it to him, and they might have also done it to the Bruce Willis dude. I can't remember. But they're just convincing, right? They're convincing this guy. They're literally convincing this guy he was doing superhuman feats. He was climbing on the ceiling and everything. They're sitting this guy down and convincing him, not that the shit didn't happen, but they just go one by one, and they provide like these scientific explanations, right? Everything ranging from psychological stuff to, you know, physical, like I just went over. They're just hitting him with all this reasoning that sounds really good, and they're just breaking him down, breaking down his confidence. And then spoiler, like, don't watch this if you don't want spoilers, right? They cut to a scene where it's revealed, no, he does have powers. Like he is special. He is who he thought he was. And those people, it's their mission to, I guess, all over the world, to find these people who are special, literally and systematically, like hunt them down and convince them, literally gaslight them and brainwash them into believing that they're not who they are, right? It's revealed to us that no, these people really are special, and you know, these people over here are convincing them that they're not, and successfully doing so. And I watched that. When I watched that, it was in the middle. It was when I was living in the forest for 2 months. I watched that inside of my tent in Hot Springs, North Carolina. Right next to this I had a massive raging river on one side, and to the other side of me, like this kind of mountain cliff and a bunch of monarch butterflies. It's like the most beautiful place I've ever been. And I was watching that in my tent, and I couldn't help but feel, that's me. Like, that's me. you know, I'm special, and the world wants to convince me that I'm not. Um, and that's also one of the reasons why I don't go around saying it, right? I don't go around saying and proclaiming, you know, what I truly believe about myself. The full extent of things that I truly believe about myself, because I know that there's no point, right? In saying, oh, I'm special, I'm this and that, I'm so amazing. You can't do that. You just have to show people, because number one, that's just shitty. Like nobody wants to hear that. Also, I don't enjoy gloating. I don't enjoy bragging. But also, um, it, it's useless. And also, I know that I'm gonna get nothing but pushback, right? If you tell the world that you're special, they're gonna come back and try to crush you and tell you that you're not. And I don't need that in my mental space. I don't need that invading my mental fortitude, right? It's like, I know who I am, and I know the things that I'm supposed to do and what I have to do, and the world just has to catch up. Because I know if I go right now, right? That is to say right now. That's not to say that there's never a time for anybody to proclaim their greatness. Kanye can stand on the mountaintop and say that he's great because he's achieved something. He can show you that he is, right? But I know that right now, I can't, it is not the time for me to stand up and shout to the world how great I am, because I know that all I'm gonna get, there's no purpose to it, and all I'm gonna get is people telling me that I'm not, people trying to crush me. If I stand up and shout, how I'm so special and I'm so great, the one and only piece of feedback that I'm gonna get from the world, it's like in Black Panther, when he has that kinetic suit that it absorbs kinetic energy, and so you punch it, and it's like absorbing the hits. It's absorbing the energy from the hits, and then it blasts your own energy, back out at you. And there's fucking bugs crawling out, and I picture it like more like a force field. Like there's this strong ass force field, and if you it's like there's this force field. I'm coming down on it with all my might, right? I'm trying to strike. I'm trying to land a blow on this shield. And the stronger I hit it, let's say I come down, I just boom. I hit it with all my might. What's gonna happen? The reverberation immediate. I'm just gonna bounce back. As hard as I hit it, it's not gonna give at all, and I'm just gonna right. All of my kinetic energy is gonna come right back in my face and launch it back at me. And that's how it is with the world. If I tell the world right now, what I fully what I believe about myself, the only thing I'm gonna get is all of that energy like tenfold coming back in my face. And it's just gonna invite more destructive energy rather than constructive and reinforcing energy into my mental space, right? Because it's always a balance. It's what do you surround yourself with? It's how much constructive, reinforcing, reassuring energy, and how much destructive, doubtful energy do you have around you, and do you have penetrating your mental fortitude at all times. And it's a balance, because obviously you don't want to let this is why it's like, don't Google yourself, don't check the comments, you know, don't listen to the hate. You don't want to surround yourself or become enveloped by the hateful energy, the criticisms. You don't want too much of that, because obviously it'll destroy you. But at the same time, if you have purely reassuring, positive energy, and you don't have any destructive energy at all, or you have too little, that's going to destroy you in a different way. You're going to get, you're just surrounded by yes men, basically, and you're going to get too big for your britches, and you're not going to have healthy criticism. You're not going to be able to regulate yourself. So it's always a balance, right? And everything I say nowadays, I know what's the response I'm going to get back. Everything I say, whether I'm wrong or right, whether what I'm going to say is wrong or right, people don't care. People don't respond based off wrong or right. People respond based off of just what they want and how they feel. And so it's like, sometimes, so this is the reason, like, rarely nowadays do I get into arguments in a comment section, or do I type out a big long thing. Oh, well, actually, dude, so often I'll see a post, and it'll piss me off or some shit, or somebody will just say something wrong, and I'll start typing a whole paragraph, right? I'll be like, I'll be typing this whole long thing, and then I'll get to the end of it, or I'll get to the middle of it, and I stop and I pause, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is pointless. And I see the road stretched out before me. I see what's gonna come of this action. Like, what's gonna come of it? I'm just gonna say this thing, and then some dumbass person is gonna reply, and then it's just, it's just gonna be some futile disagreement, which even if I win, it doesn't mean anything. Like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why the fuck am I engaging in a back and forth, in a comment section online? It doesn't make any sense. And so, or like, dude, oh my god, I'm such a hateful person. You don't understand. I am such a hater. I'm such a hateful person. Like, you don't understand where I come from. You don't understand who I was, when I was 16, 17, 14. You don't understand the things I would do, the things I would say to people, the way I would act. You don't understand, bro. Like, I'm a hateful, toxic person, that's a part of me. And nowadays, I just don't, fuck, dude. And even if I think a person deserves it, not just like being mean for no reason, but like, I don't know, I see some shit like, oh, this person's fucking stupid, oh, that's corny, oh, this is what. Every single time I'll be scrolling and I see some shit and I want to leave a hate comment, I'll start like typing out my snarky ass hate comment, and then I'll stop before I post it. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, only negativity is gonna come of this, even if I'm theoretically right. Somebody's gonna see my comment, and they're gonna go to my page, and then they're gonna start making fun of me, and then and it's just, so it's like everything I do nowadays, this is terrible. It's like the shadow. This is terrible lighting. I feel like here. Oh shit. Here, like, bro, back here, I'm like, oh shit. And then here, just like lean forward, and this is terrible lighting, bro. Shit. But yeah, bro. The Genius documentary saved my life, or it changed my life. Kanye changed my life. Dude, when I watched the Genius documentary on Netflix, how much do I have? It's 14%. When I watched the Genius documentary, the Kanye documentary on Netflix, dude, it changed my life, because what I gleaned from that was self-belief. Kanye's life story, and what you have to learn from him more than anything else, he is the raw power. He is the power of raw self-belief, exemplified, personified. And that's what I got from that documentary. The extent to which he believed in himself. Nobody thought he could make it, and then he was a successful producer. Nobody thought he could be a rapper. They told him not to be a rapper. He became a rapper. They didn't think he could be a fashion designer. He did that, And that's why when he was running for president, I fully believed in him, and I wanted him to win. And to this day, I would genuinely vote for Kanye West. And I'm not as a troll, not just because I love him, I love Kanye. No, I mean, like, in no uncertain terms, like, unironically, I think that Kanye West would be the greatest president we've had in a very long time. I truly believe that. And like, I told that to my friend Nate years ago, back in San Diego, and he was like, "What?" He had a very normie response. "What? You're crazy." It's almost as like, I don't know, when somebody has a response where it's like, oh, that is the normie response. It's like, that is like, if I had to write on a script, normal guy response. That's what you just told me. It's almost like I can't even take you seriously. But anyway, he told me, "What? You're crazy." And his argument was, Kanye shouldn't be president because he's wild, he's crazy, and he says crazy things, and he's too crazy, or whatever. And I can't even articulate an argument right now, but I think that if you don't know that Kanye West would be like possibly the greatest president we've ever had, aside from maybe like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, I don't know. I just feel like you're lost. I just feel like you're lost. I feel like you don't know anything. I feel like you have no calibration to reality. I don't know. Honestly, bro, I think about this all the time. You need to make me president, and I'm not joking. Like, and I don't even need to be president. I need to be emperor. You need to make me emperor of America, and I'm not joking at all. And listen, bro, hey, give me 5 years. Make me the supreme ruler of the United States of America for 5 years, and then I promise I'll give it. I promise. I promise I'll give it back. I promise I'll give it back, and I won't make myself king forever. I actually would give it back though, like unironically. But no, I think about this all the time. It's like everybody has this thought. Oh, if only I were ruler. If only I were king of the world. I know what to do, and I could fix everything. And everybody has this thought. And then when you say, oh, everybody has this thought, that's supposed to somehow discount it as a foolish notion that everyone has, or because everyone has it, it's some foolish notion, and that it's not true. But it is true a lot of the time. I mean, it genuinely is true that this is the thing. The problem with dictatorship isn't bad in and of itself. When they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely, or people act as if it's impossible to have a benevolent dictator, that's complete bullshit. The problem with dictatorship isn't that dictatorship is bad. The problem with dictatorship is that it's really hard to ensure that you're gonna get a good one, a good dictator. You basically can't ensure that. And if you get a bad one, you're fucked. That's the problem. And I'm not saying that dictatorship is good. I'm not saying that we should, just like us as a people, or that, the countries of the world. I think that generally it's better to adopt democracy over dictatorship. I think it's generally better. But I'll say this, and this is, not even debatable. There's a dog way behind me. Within a realistic context, the best dictatorship is better than the best democracy. Because when people say, oh, if I was king of the world, I could fix everything. I mean, you could, and it depends on the person, right? Because obviously the problem is not with that position, the problem is with the person. But if you had a person that was reasonably moral and acted with a lot of restraint and was reasonably level-headed and didn't let the position corrupt them, and they kept their groundings, and especially if they had some grounding that wasn't arbitrary, like the Bible, they could fix the world, and it wouldn't be that hard. And the reason why the best dictatorship would be better than the best democracy is that if you have a benevolent dictator, he can literally fix every single problem in society like this instantly, and that's it. The absolute best democracy is a bunch of guys arguing, and some good things happen sometimes, and no catastrophically bad things happen. Like, the best democracy is just like pretty good, pretty positive, or very positive over a long enough period of time. The best dictatorship is like awesome. It's like the best thing you could ever imagine. But the worst dictatorship is and therein lies the problem. But man, I think about that all the time. It's such a it's such like a tantalizing fantasy to get wrapped up in. Oh, if I was king of the world, or if I was king of America. And I don't know, bro. I think that by the time I'm old enough to become president, probably my past and my digital footprint will be a little bit too outlandish. I'm a little bit too, I feel like I'm too bombastic of a character to become president, maybe. But I don't know, bro. I just feel like, America could be an actual paradise. There's no reason whatsoever that America shouldn't be like a literal fucking. I don't think a utopia is possible, but like the closest thing we could get to that. There's no reason that the richest country on earth should be suffering like it is. And I don't know that much about politics, and I don't know that much about economics, but I can tell you, if you made me Emperor of America for 5 years, I would stop sending hundreds of billions of dollars, not only, to foreign countries for conflicts like Ukraine, Israel, whatever, but also I would withdraw. I would just withdraw all foreign aid pretty much from everywhere in the world. I would stop, providing European countries with their defense. I would stop sending American citizens to go fucking die in the sand decade after decade for no reason. So first of all, I'm bringing everything back, right? We're spending hundreds of billions of dollars here, not everywhere else. I would also cut the military budget, not excessively, because I think it's a positive that we have the strongest military in the world, or that the biggest budget, even though I don't think that we necessarily need it, because of one, what we've already built, but two, geographically we're pretty hard to invade. And also, I don't know of any country that would, there's no country that would actually invade us. Any country that would have the capability to do so, which like maybe China would be the only one, they don't really have a reason to start an actual war with us, but that's neither here nor there. I would cut all of the poison out of our foods. I would provide everybody with free healthcare. And it's like, I don't know, to me, the problems that America faces are they're not that mysterious, and they're not that insurmountable. It's like when I say things like, oh, we're just gonna we're gonna fix the food, and we're gonna give everybody free healthcare, and we're gonna give everybody a house. Like, if I say that, it sounds naive, right? It sounds like, oh, I'm just gonna wave a magic wand and fix everything. But we can, though. We have more riches and resources and power than any nation in the history of Earth. We can wave a magic wand and fix all of our problems. We're America. We can do that. You do understand that, right? We quite literally have the resources to wave a magic wand and fix all of our problems. Instead, we're breaking down our magic wand for fucking scrap and sending it to Israel. How much do I have? 6%. So I guess I'll wrap it up here. But I don't know. I'd probably just become isolationist for a period of time, bring all our money back, give everybody free health care, take all the poison out of our foods, probably deport like literally everyone, and I don't know, bro. I just don't think, sometimes when I talk about things and I sound naive, like that's how I want to sound, because I actually don't think that the problems in the world, I actually don't think that life is that, well, I'm not gonna say life because I'm talking about geopolitics right now, but I don't think geopolitics is that, I don't think it's as complicated as people want you to think that it is. I think, you know what I think? People want you to believe that politics, economics, all of these things, they want you to believe that it's this big, or even something like Wall Street, that it's this big, complicated thing that you're not smart enough to understand, and other people are going to take care of it, right? The politicians, the economists, the whoever, they're going to take care of it. It's like, it's something for other people to worry about. You're not smart enough to fathom all of this. There's so many different things at play. Oh, it's so complex. I don't know, bro. I don't think it's that complex. And I kind of feel that way about life also. I feel like there's a couple very distinct problems that we face as a nation, and I think if we stop sending fucking call me crazy, right? Call me fucking crazy, but I think that if we just stop sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Israel, we stop putting fucking poison and preservatives in all of our food and packaging everything in plastic, and we use our resources to actually fix problems here at home and give our resources to the people, like giving people free healthcare and housing, right? I think that if we did those three things, our country would become astronomically, like unbelievably, extraordinarily better in a very, very short period of time. So, I don't know.